Welcome one and all, I'm Alexis, aka The Sloth Reader, and I'm here today to do the end of the year book tag, which was originally created by Ariel Bissett, so I will leave her video linked down below. I'll also link Chelsea over at Chelsea Darling Reads video, which is where I saw this tag. And yes, it seems like a really fun tag to kind of look at the rest of the year, so I'll go ahead and get into it. The first question is, are there any books that you started this year that you need to finish? I only have one, because most of the time I don't let books drag this badly. But it was a book that was on my top to read in 2017, and that is The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. I technically only started this book like a week ago, but I think on Goodreads I marked it as currently reading like 3 months ago or something like that. But I technically only started it like a week ago. I'm actually listening to this on audiobook. This is the second book in the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. I'm not very far into this book at all. I'm like not even 100 pages. So yeah, I need to get on that so I can actually finish it before the year ends. The next question is, do you have an autumnal book to kind of transition you into the end of the year? I don't really. I don't feel like I have a specific book that I'm planning to read to transition me into fall. It's more that I'm going to use the entirety of Halloween season and like the whole month of October to transition me into fall. I'm planning on reading only thrillers and or supernatural books in October, so I feel like that whole month is going to be my smooth transitioning into fall type month. So that's kind of what I'm going to use. I don't have a specific book set aside to be that transition. The next question is there a new release you are still waiting for? Definitely Renegades by Marissa Meyer. I'm super excited to check this one out. Especially because it's so different from what we've seen from Marissa Meyer in the past, and also a book that I forgot to put on my most anticipated releases for the year, which is insane that I forgot it, and that is Artemis by Andy Weir. This is, again, a book very, very different from his previous book, The Martian, which is a book I loved. So I'm definitely excited to see this different and new outing from both of these authors. The next question is, what are 3 books you're hoping to read before the end of the year? The first 2 are 2 books left on my top to read in 2017 list, and that is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I said I wanted to finally read this book this year, but I just haven't gotten around to actually picking it up. I do plan to try and pick it up in November, especially because I know this book is dark and it deals very heavily with mental illness, so I feel like fall is a good time to pick it up. And the other one being The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, which again, I still haven't read yet. And I'm planning to pick this up probably in November, and I don't know why. I don't really know anything about this book, but for some reason it has always struck me as a fall book. Like, to me it's always been in my head a fall book. So I've purposefully saved it to read until fall. So yes, I will probably be picking this up in November, possibly in December, hopefully in November. The next book is a sneak peek at my October TBR, and that is You by Caroline Kepnes. I've had this book for a couple of years now, and I know this book is very, very polarizing. People either love it or people hate it. And I know it's very, very creepy, and it's perfect for Halloween, which is why I was like, this Halloween, I'm gonna read You, because it's the perfect time to read it. So I'm definitely planning to read this in October. It's on my October TBR, and I'm gonna want to pick it up probably like October 1st. So I'm excited. The next question is there a book that you think could still shock you and end up being a favorite book of the year? I had to think really hard about this one, because there wasn't one that like stuck out to me that I was like planning to read, that I was like, this one I'm not sure about but could be my favorite. But recently I did purchase a book, which is Girls of Snow and Glass by, I don't remember her name, I apologize. This book was not on my radar at first at all. I'm so picky when it comes to fairy tale retellings that when I first read the premise for this book, I really wasn't sold on it. But I know Cece over at Problems of a Book Nerd read it, and she really raved about it. She said it was so good, and since then I've heard a lot of really positive reviews about this book. So I decided to actually go ahead and purchase it and buy it. And I really do want to pick it up, especially as I've heard more of the elements that are in this book. And so, like, because I didn't have very high expectations of it at first, I'm still not letting myself get too hyped about it, but given what I've heard, I do think that this definitely could end up being one of my favorite books of the year. The last question is, have you already started making plans for 2018? And the answer is yes. I think I have So probably around July or so I started thinking about 2018 and the goals I wanted to set for myself, such as, you know, my Goodreads goal, because at this point in the year I've surpassed my Goodreads goal, so it's a lot of that, trying to think of like what I want my Goodreads goal to be for next year, if I feel like this year was a good number and I've just had a great year. So I have started thinking a lot about some of my goals. What I've done is I've made a list of about 20 or so goals that I could see myself setting and achieving next year, and then basically from that list I'll narrow it down to maybe 5 or 6 that I really want to commit to for 2018. That being said, I also have started making my top books to read in 2018 list. It's about 6 or 7 books right now that are on it. I like to be at about 12 to 15 to kind of push myself to read at least 1 or 2 every month. So yes, I have started ahead for 2018. Yes, I have started making 2018 plans. I'm really excited about some of my plans I've already made for 2018, and I can't wait for you guys to see them and to hold me accountable so I get them all accomplished. Alright guys, so that was the end of the year book tag. There are 2 questions I definitely want to hear. I would love to hear what release you're super excited for in the upcoming months, and I also would love to know if you guys have already started making your 2018 plans, and if you want to spoil them maybe, if you want to talk to me about them, I'd love to hear it. I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye!